She liked the way
Hello everybody, welcome back to the 2070 Vision podcast. My name is Raymond and today I'm joined by Luis and our very first special guest, Miss Jo. How's it going today, Jo?
It's going good. Hi guys.
Round of applause, please. A guest for the start is season 2. Let's go.
Yes, sir. So this is season 2 of our 2070 Vision podcast, the first episode.
We got renewed. We didn't get canceled.
Yeah, Netflix didn't cancel us, so we're actually really happy. We appreciate it. But yeah, welcome everybody. Today we'll be talking about life after college, and the way that I thought about this topic was, once Joe and I, we just recently graduated college in 2022, and Luis is on the way. Once I graduated, it's been a year now, but once I graduated, maybe months after I graduated, I feel like I fell into a quarter life crisis. And I don't even know if that's really a thing or not. I know a midlife crisis is a thing, so maybe it felt like it was half of a midlife crisis. I don't know. But pretty much what happened was when I graduated college, I had a plan for everything. I had a plan to go to law school, and I had everything set. But then what happened was I didn't score the high enough on my LSAT exam, so I didn't get accepted for the first year. And then that was my main plan. So once I didn't go through, I kind of felt lost and stuck because for the 4 years of my college career, that's all I was preparing for was to go to law school. And I had nothing else in mind. So once it didn't happen, I was kind of stuck. What am I going to do now? I had to try something different. So it really struck me. So I wanted to talk about that and reflect on it and just kind of overall talk about, life after college. But yeah, so how we'll start off is we'll just say where we went to college at. So Joe, where'd you go to college?
So I went to La Sierra University in Riverside, double majored in finance and management.
That's nice. Congratulations. I went to Harvard, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. I went to California State University.
Damn.
California State University, San Bernardino. And I majored in business administration and it was concentrated in entrepreneurship.
Hearing this, since both of y'all not only graduated from college, but both attended very respectable, colleges, a lot of clout there. But I am curious, as someone who is going to start their journey into college, I want to know, after both of you completed college, what changes have you noticed, in terms of, maybe, routines, maybe in, your mindsets, I'm very curious, as I said, as someone who's going to start that journey. I want to hear from both of you who already completed it.
I would say, in my opinion, it's been, a lot more, just more responsibility. Because once I graduated, I started working full time, so it just was a bigger responsibility that I wasn't really used to. When I was in college, I was working part time at my school, so it was just I wasn't required to be there every single day to work, and I had more flexibility with my school schedule and my work schedule. But once I graduated, it just kind of felt because I feel in school you had you can kind of relax. If you're in school, you don't have to really worry about much, but once you graduate, you out there, you actually have to do your thing. So I feel that just kind of, not that I don't feel I was alone, but I kind of felt I don't know, when you learn how to swim, you get pushed in the deep end, you're on your own for the first time. That's kind of how I really felt once I graduated. But how about you, Joe? How did you feel after you graduated?
So for me, when I was in college, my 4 years, I was working and going to school. And for the most part, I had 2 jobs. So now that I'm finally done with school and I only have just one full-time job, I feel it let me have time to do more things. And when I was in school, at the same time as doing school and work, I was working on getting my real estate license. So I was just so busy. And right now, it's just work.
I feel you, Joe. It's kind of weird. I feel we have an opposite story because I feel when I was in school, I feel I had more free time. When I was in school, I'm still doing the business now, but when I was in school, I was working part-time, I was doing the school, I had a full-time schedule, and then I was also building a business in the background. But I feel I just had more flexibility. I guess maybe because I feel now my full-time job, I'm kind of occupied during the day, so it feels different. And then so another thing, after college, because it's kind of, I'm sophisticated with my plans and stuff like that. So my plan was after I graduated, I was going to start law school, but also continue doing my business. And that's that's what I was doing. So once I didn't make it into law school, I was okay, I'll just go for it next year. It's all cool. This gives me more time, a gap to just focus on my business. That's cool. And that's what I started doing. So once I graduated, I honestly didn't even try to look for a job at all because I was like, all right, I'm full-time CEO. I'm going to do my thing. And, like when you start a business, it's not going to make money instantly. That's how it usually doesn't happen. So it took some time, and I was doing my thing for a few months, just kind of focusing on that, doing a lot of content, stuff like that. But then it got to a point where my parents started kind of like, not super pressuring me, but they were like, all right, like, it's time to apply for a job. Now you graduated. Maybe you're going to go to law school next year, but you should start working, get your career going. In my head, I'm like, I just majored, like, I just went to school literally for entrepreneurship. That's my major. So, the reason why I'm not searching for a job is because I don't want to work for anybody else. I'm doing my own thing. And I think the biggest thing was that since they didn't see money coming in from there, they're like, where are you getting your money? Like, where are you getting money from? So they're really like pressuring me to like get a job. And then like, it was at first they were just kind of nudging me like, hey, here you should start applying. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm still doing my thing right now. Then after a while, it's kind of like
CEO mindset. Like I'm working for myself, no one else. Kind of.
Yeah, no, that's how it was. That's how it was. I was really my own boss, and I still am, but it's just in a different situation. But then it got to a point where they're like, all right, boy, if you don't start applying, like, so they kind of got on me. And then I eventually was like, all right, bro, whatever, I'll apply. So I started working full time. I was like, whatever.
It's like, whatever, I'll get a job.
Whatever. But I guess it's a different situation if it was like, I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting at home all day and like just playing video games. I was actually trying to build like a whole business. So it was like, that's why I wasn't like really trying to get a job. So it's like a different circumstance. But like, have y'all had an experience like that?
No, like my parents didn't pressure me into working. I wanted to just work. And they were kind of helping me with school at the beginning. But I felt bad taking their money. And so I was like, I can do it by myself. So I started paying my tuition on my own and then took out more loans under my name only. They were like, oh, we can co-sign. But I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I got it. And then once I graduated school, they weren't pressuring me to find a job. They were telling me to travel. They were like, you just worked 4 years, like, so hard. And not only were you working, but also going to school. So they were like, maybe you should take some time and, like, travel and stuff. So they were very supportive about that. But then I started feeling like I need a job, like I need to start working again. So I started applying again after a month after graduating. I started applying for jobs again.
Oh, see, yeah, that's interesting because I was about to ask, like, during that whole journey, those 4 or so years, both of you going to school, any regrets? But before I get to that, I am curious, since I'm going to be starting to go to school, I'm currently working a full-time job. So as I'm going to school, I'm working full-time. So I'm curious about, since both of y'all, you both graduated and you were working at that time. So I'm curious, any advice you would give to someone who's working a full-time job and just starting school, work-life balance, maybe how to spread out their homework or just anything go off.
Will you be quitting your full-time job and making it part-time or just school?
If I go part-time, I will lose my insurance, I'll lose my holiday pay, I will lose the majority of my actual pay because I'll just be working like 4 hours a day instead of the 8. So I will be staying full-time.
Okay, and then school will be online then, or night classes, or how will that work?
As of now, it's currently just part-time. Like right now, I start in the fall. I'm only going to be doing 2 online classes, and not like a set time. It's more like the professor's going to go, "Hey, here's the assignment. Do it." Kind of stuff. Yeah, only because that best fits my current schedule.
Okay, I see.
It's like, it's gonna be like asynchronous. Yeah, that's cool. They started doing that like during COVID time. I had some classes like that, like where it's like the teacher's there, but like they don't really have like lectures. You just do assignments and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay.
So since you're going to be keeping your full-time job but starting school, I would say just time management. Maybe in between your breaks, you can like log in and see what you need to get done so that when you get home from work, you already like have in mind like or an outline of what you'll need to get done by that night. Or I'm not sure like how it's gonna work. Like I know like some online classes that I took, there was work due every night, and some there was work due once a week. So it really just depends. I would say definitely time management.
Okay, yeah, Luis. So yeah, I agree with you, Joe. Like, definitely time management is big. For me, like in school, and I still do it now, I will procrastinate a lot. And I feel like I probably would have been more productive if I hadn't procrastinate. But at the same time, like for me, I feel like my best work is done when I'm under pressure. For some reason, like when I have time, it's like whatever. But like when I'm like, oh shoot, like this is due in an hour, like I'm cooking. I don't know why it's like that, but that's just usually how it is. And but what I would recommend is do not procrastinate, because especially if you're going to be working a full-time job, there's going to be times where you're going to be tired, after work, and you're going to be limited on time. So I would definitely recommend that, like, once you get an assignment, at least, like, let's say you have a week to do an assignment, at least try your best to start it within the first 1 or 2 days. And maybe if you're not going to finish it in the whole, like, like the one setting, like, at least get it started and then come back to it. But just get it done ahead of time, because if you're not working, you have more time on your hands, you kind of could procrastinate because it's just, like, you're less stressed. But, like, the work stress and being tired, it makes it harder to do your work. So yeah, definitely I recommend just try your best to get things done as early as possible. It'll really help you out. And then also, like, with having a full-time job, just try your best to not overwhelm yourself. But that kind of comes from not procrastinating, because once you procrastinate, then you kind of get overwhelmed, and it's like you just got so much going on. So yeah, that's probably like my biggest piece of advice. Just don't procrastinate. If you can balance your time really good, you'll be solid. Okay, you'll be solid.
Okay, I would say that's very helpful advice, because, yeah, especially my job, I work in the healthcare system. I'm nothing too fancy. I'm at the front desk in my clinic. I call patients, schedule, and then also I answer the phone, answer any questions, whether they need refills or they need their doctor to sign off something so they can go ahead with the procedure or an x-ray, just a whole bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. So knowing all that tells me that, okay, my 15-minute break, instead of just going on my phone looking at Lou Ratchet or going looking at stuff on Twitter or X, as it's called now. So yeah, instead of doing that, goofing off now, like, just keep going at it, keep the grind going. Do 15 minutes worth of an assignment, whether it's a paragraph or just a sentence. Do something, especially on my lunch too. So just
yeah, I agree with you. Definitely maximize your time as much as you can, because at the end of the day, you still have your own social life and family life too, and you still want to spend time on your own. So it's tough to compromise that time. So yeah, I do recommend, like, I know also at work you want to have a break too, but if you can, like on breaks or lunches, instead of being on your phone, maybe just get started with something. Something that I do when I work from home is, like, on my breaks.
That must be nice.
Oh, we'll get to that. On my breaks, what I do is that's when I eat my lunch. Like on my break, like the 15-minute break, I'll actually like eat real quick. And then during lunchtime is when I'm actually trying to work on something. So I'll start editing during lunchtime. Instead of like taking a whole hour to eat, I eat my 15-minute break. So I just kind of maximize that time. And that has helped me out a lot, because then like after work, I'm like always tired, and it's hard to edit when I'm tired. So if I can maximize my time as much as possible, it's good. So definitely recommend that too.
All right. So yeah, this very helpful advice, and now I am a bit curious, because now that I'm going to school, things are different than where it was, the previous 3 or 4 so years. I'm going in, I have the opportunity to I can just do work from home, or I can choose a night class, go in person. A lot of options. But I am curious, since both of you recent graduates, that means both of you were at school during COVID, quarantine, so things were a bit different. And because of that, I'm sure maybe both of you, I imagine you wish you could do things a bit different, maybe, well, yeah, it was during COVID, so I'm sure you wish you can do things differently. So I'm curious, like, what are some things you wish you could change when you look back, like any regrets? Wish, like, oh, I should have never done like a group project with this person because they made me do all the work, or they kept spamming me, or my internet wasn't working. I didn't upgrade. So what's some advice? What's some regrets you had?
Honestly, I don't want to say I don't have any like regrets. Oh, did I say that right? Regrets. I have more so like I wish I would have done this. So the number one thing I really wish I would have done is just be more social and kind of take the time to meet new people and just work with new people. Because like my first 2 years of school, let me know if you relate to this, Joe. But my first 2 years of school, I was like the student that was like go to class, go home, like don't talk to nobody. I would have friends, but like I wouldn't really like interact with anybody. Like I would just do my classes, I'm out of there. And then like after like the COVID,
So you're just there to do what you have to do, and after that, just go straight home.
I mean, you have those days, which is cool, but like I'll tell you why. Like it's beneficial to meet people. So then like after COVID, when we came back from the COVID time frame, that's when I was working at my school, and like I started to meet a lot of new people. I met like a lot of people that I worked with, but then I also in my entrepreneurship classes, I started to meet more of the professors. Like I spent time with like professors and like other students that are having their own businesses. And it even led to me going on a trip in Texas, for a project to do.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, yeehaw, baby. And I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not reached out to people. So I feel like I would have done more because I only did that in my last 2 years, and I feel like I grew so much from that time frame. So imagine if I would have done that in my first 2 years. So I would say definitely like maybe like joining a club or like a group, like maybe like in your major specifically, because there's like an entrepreneurship club at my school and stuff like that. And like the reason why I got to that trip to Texas is like we presented our business idea to like a competition at TCU, Texas Christian University, and it wasn't even like it started off with a group project. It was like 4 of us and 5 of us, and it was a project and we did really good. Our professor liked it, and then he like told another professor about it, and that professor kind of reached out to us and he was like, hey, like I heard about your project, it was really good, you should sign up for this trip, like it'll be a good experience for you. And we're like, all right, like, let's do it. And we took a shot at it and we actually made it. So we went and it was a good experience. But I wouldn't have, if it was me in those first 2 years, I probably would have been like, nah, I'm good. But so yeah, so that's probably like my biggest regret is not really getting a lot of like reaching out to people and like building my network. But yeah, so for you, I recommend like if you want to join like any clubs, like pertaining to your major or something like that, so you can meet people. Maybe you can meet people that want to be teachers, so you can kind of like share ideas and just build your network.
Right. It's definitely something I'm gonna try to keep in mind. It might be a bit difficult because working full time, and by the time I actually am off work and get home, that's when school, like, cause I'm going right here by the nearby community college, is just a ghost town. Like you see a tumbleweed fly here and there, a little bit of dust, and a ghost here or two. But because it will be online, I'm sure we're going to be doing group projects. I'll be able to reach out with more people, so I'm sure I'll manage that way.
Yeah, there's always online communities, so don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like what I'm saying about GroupMe is that like a lot of it probably happen in your classes, but like usually like when the class starts, one student will like make a GroupMe for that class specifically. And then they will send the link to everybody in the chat. Everybody in the class. They'll send a link to everybody in the class. It's really made to be like a study group. So like when people have questions about the class, they'll be like, hey, like this and that, and they use it to study together. But like there's one made from an entrepreneurship class, and it was really cool because we're all entrepreneurs. We all have like our own businesses, and we still have that group chat. But like I got to like really get to know like a lot of other people in my entrepreneurship classes that also have businesses. And like one of our first merchandise clients, we made her like remember like the apron that we made for somebody? She does eyebrows. But I met her in my class, and like it was through, you don't remember, it was a long time ago. It was through GroupMe, so like it was really beneficial. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, Joe. So answer the question.
Okay, so
what's some advice you would give?
I agree with
Or
Ray.
regrets?
I definitely think networking, joining a club for sure. Another thing that I personally regretted from college was not doing an internship. I know like you're going for teachers, so maybe like volunteering at a school. Maybe you can even start with, what is that after school program called?
YMCA?
Not that, but yeah, that could work.
Yeah, there's like some like elementaries. I remember one being called like Think Together.
Yes.
Other
You can
ones,
start with that
something.
maybe, just like getting your name out there, like for sure, like networking.
Yeah, Joe, I feel you with the internships. I actually did do an internship. It wasn't really school related. It was more media related. Shout out to them. y'all listening. Y'all better be listening. But shout out to y'all, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't really be as experienced with like video and pictures. So thank you. But I did like a media internship, which was really helped me out. But yeah, I wish I would have done maybe another one, like in a different field, like maybe like something in like finance or accounting, just so I can get that more hands-on experience. Because I know like if you're looking for a career, like sometimes they want experience. It's hard to get experience without having experience. If that makes sense. So like internship is perfect. So I feel, so yeah, I mean, because you're gonna be teaching, so you're gonna be doing that experiences anyway. So
Right.
you'll be on the right path. And another thing I kind of wish I would have done was kind of like how you did, Joe. Like you did like a double major. I really wish I would have done something. Not like I'm happy with my major now, but I wish I would have did something else, like a little bit more specific, like something just kind of like financing or accounting or maybe human resources, just to kind of get like a little bit extra knowledge. But at the same time, since I'm going to law school, it doesn't really matter because I'll still be doing something different. But yeah, some advice for you, just like so you don't have any regrets. I always say regrets. In my opinion, definitely try your best to like network with people. Sometimes you have to get yourself out of your comfort zone. I had to do it, and like just try because like what they say is your network is your net worth. Like whoever you know is how you really succeed. So just focus on that.
Mm-hmm. Get on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah.
LinkedIn.
Major key.
So what is that? I literally have no idea. I know both of you are on LinkedIn, but I literally don't know like what is it? What is LinkedIn?
It's like a platform for, I would say, entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it could be for everyone, but
It's pretty much a digital resume, so it's just a way to network. So I have on my LinkedIn, it's a way to meet people, and then like for like business purposes, like it could help me find clients, like or it could help me trying to find people that I want to work with. So like for example, like on my profile, it says my position, like what I do, and like I said, if you click on it, it looks like a resume. So like maybe if because you can do job searches on there too. So if you're looking for employees, you can like look for people on there that have like certain skills and stuff like that. But it's good to have it because you can meet people that can help you, or you can help other people as well. So yeah, definitely that's a good recommendation.
Yeah, this is I will say this is very good advice both of you were giving me because as of now I really didn't have anything in mind in terms of like networking, internships. I was just thinking, okay, I'm just gonna do my work, and then because my grandma, she was a teacher before. She I think retired. What year are we in? 2023. So she retired 2018. She was elementary, and she was giving me advice, how to run the classroom, but never anything in terms of like while in school, reach out to other people, network, get connections, things like that. So I will say this is very helpful advice.
It really helps because you never know who's gonna really like help you out. Like I heard a story about somebody. I forgot where she was from, but she was like kind of looking for like some type of like job, and she couldn't find anything. I think she just graduated, and she just couldn't find anything. But she knew somebody that was hiring. That somebody was like a rich business person. They were looking for somebody specific, and she was able to get like a really good position just because of who she knew. And it's not like about favoritism, but it's about just kind of knowing people, because like people who trust you will like want to work with you more compared to just random people. So you never know. So it's good. It's always important to make really good connections wherever you go.
And I'm happy that you brought up, that person you're talking about, like after they graduated, they couldn't find anything afterwards for a while. So I am curious now that, you both graduated, a whole year after graduation. I am curious, like, Joe, you went to school for finances. Like, are you now the Wolf of Wall Street? Are you now on Wall Street, getting billions of dollars? Are you having dinner with Donald Trump? And Mr. Moorhead, now that you're a lawyer, are you Daredevil?
Yes.
Are you solving cases? Are you famous? Like, I am curious, like, now that a year after college, because I always hear, every time I hear stories about people going to college, I always hear, the stories of them starting, them, going to school, and then obviously the graduation moment, they all throw up their little tassels, they throw them up in the air, and then afterwards, nothing. I really don't hear much afterwards. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, now that you've finished your journeys of school, mm-hmm. what's going on? Like, are you starting the journeys that you went to school for?
So I definitely always knew I wanted to get into the banking industry. That's why I majored in finance. And I am working at a credit union, so I feel like, yes, I have my foot in the door. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I feel like you have to start somewhere.
Right.
Most definitely. Mm-hmm. That's really good, Joe. I mean, yeah, it really is about getting your foot in the door. And then, it just takes time, and you're going to gain experience that is needed for the next level. So you're doing everything great. I mean, you're doing everything right. So I actually applaud you for that. Like, you're doing good. And yeah, and like for me, it's kind of similar. It's kind of funny though, because like how you said, like people. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but like people, like you were saying, a lot of people are having a hard time finding a job. And like for me, I was not trying to find a job, and I would say I was forced.
So you went to school, but you didn't want a job afterwards?
No, it's not having a job. It's just because I'm working for myself.
Okay, so you wanted to be more independent, not necessarily go straight out into the work field and work for someone else.
I mean, if I really needed to, I would. But it's just like I graduated. I majored in entrepreneurship. I already started my own business, so I was gonna just continue doing my own business, and eventually it's gonna suffice where I'm making money off of it, where I can live off of it. It takes time for that, but yeah, that's the goal. So like for me, I honestly wasn't looking for a job like how I said earlier, and I just started a job search. It took like a few months to find something, but I was able to find something. It just took applying to a lot of places, but I was able to find somewhere I'm happy there, and it's going good. So I'm really happy there. And then like to your question, Luis, like am I actually applying like what I learned for my school? And I would say yeah, because like everything that I learned from school, I applied it directly into our business that we have now, like the structure and just how it operates and everything like that. So I would say like my degree is beneficial and I'm using it, and it kind of not only did it help me get my own business started, but also helped me in the career path that I'm in now. Because what my job is now has a lot of stuff to do with like legal stuff, and in my major it was a lot of like management and structural stuff. So it kind of helped me. And then also like helped me going into law school and being a lawyer. So it was beneficial, and I'm able to use it now. So it was valuable.
And then now after now you're both on your course for set goals. Now that you graduated, how's that also affect adult life? Now that school, it did its job. Now you're on said goal. You're going more and more into finance and new entrepreneurship. And also law school. You said you get into that. Now that large chunk that you dedicated your life is completed, how else is that affecting life? Like in terms of like, let's say bills, trying to get a house, or those kind of responsibilities.
Next steps.
Next steps. How's that going?
It's going.
Respond now.
The market in California looking crazy. Like for me, my next steps is definitely to like purchase a house. Since I started the career and everything like that, it's gonna go good. But yeah, that's what my next step is. I want to get into that as soon as I can. And I feel like after graduating, it's just like I mentioned earlier, it's a lot of more responsibilities. Now I'm paying more bills. I don't know. It's like once I graduated, it's like no more hand holding. Even though like high school is full on hand holding, and then like once you graduate college. It's different for everybody, but for me, I was still kind of having my hand held by my parents in college. But then like once I graduated, they kind of like let go. So now it's like I'm really like doing things on my own, paying more bills and stuff like that. So I can really say I've completely stepped into adulthood. I think the only thing is just not living on my own. Yeah. So like that's the next step, but we're getting there.
And how about you, Miss Joanna? How's that affecting your life now that you graduated from school? You're working your way towards what you went to school for. How's adult life working from there?
I would say more responsibilities as well. Even though I have more free time, definitely more responsibilities. When I was in school, my parents were not charging me rent, but now that I graduated, they are charging me rent. So that was like one of the biggest changes. Yeah, I would say like that's the biggest change. And as far as like looking for a home, I agree with Ray. Like I do want to start looking as well. Just hard with these prices.
Got $1 million. It's because it's not like it's like I love my family. It's not like I'm trying to like just dip out of here. Like I love my family, but I think like it's at that point where it's like, all right, like I want to do my own thing. I want to be able to just have my own space, my own property, just start growing and eventually welcoming my own family, little ones, what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I really think about. So that's what I'm really, it's just the next step in life. And I think college, in my opinion, I don't think college completely prepared me for it, but it definitely put me in the right spot. So it prepared me.
Put you in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I feel it, Joe. At the same time, it's like I think it's good that your parents are doing that, just so you prepared for the real world. Because I feel like one thing that I've noticed is sometimes we can get like, I don't know if it's called shell shock or it's getting shocked, like once you actually hit the real world. So it's like, it's good that you're starting like something. So like when you actually go out on your own, it's not like, oh shoot. Like, like I'm not really used to this, but you'll be used to it by the time you're on your own. Yeah. So it's really good. But yeah, I mean, we had a really good conversation today. I want to say thank y'all for tuning in today. Hopefully whoever's out there listening, if you're in college now or you're thinking about starting college, I hope that we gave you some good pieces of advice. And people that have just finished college, don't fall into quarter life crisis like I did, or I don't even know if that's a real thing. I'd be making up words.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Right.
No problem.
All right, and I'll say, as someone who is going to be starting their journey to college, I'll say both of y'all have given me some good advice. So
that's good.
I know what I know to have like a game plan, make connections, and also after school, I now know what to do, what game plan to have. Like, very much appreciative.
That's good. We got you, man. It's all love. And I mean, this is like a good example of your network, because like we are each other's network. We help each other out with certain things, and it's like, who would have told you if it wasn't for us, like these things, like specifically for this college experience. So
Right.
It's a good example. But yeah, thank you, Joe, for tuning in. You are our very first guest of the 20-something Vision podcast.
Amazing.
You feel me? But yeah, we
thank you for coming into the pilot for season 2.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Netflix renewed our show. We're doing
so
new
funny.
things. We're coming back bigger and better.
Yes.
Stranger Things, watch out.
Exactly. But yeah, without further ado, thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
And never
let anyone step on your vision.
Alrighty. That's it.
I'm gonna take this damn thing off.
That'll be it.
Mama out.
Drop the microphone.
Drop the mic.
I'm so in love with you.
I'll be dropping